What's up, everybody? Tarris Horton for Ask Tarris Horton. And here we are with this week's top 10 Facebook post of the week. Number 10 comes from Linnell Stevens, aka Suckerface, and it's called, "Why Don't You Bring Daddy a Plate?" When your dad's waiting outside for you to sneak him a plate because he left your mom for that young thing who can't cook. Well, I like to think logically, and there's two sides to every story. From the woman's perspective, she's probably like, what is he doing coming around here messing with me and my new family on this joyous occasion? He knew what he was doing when he left. And then the dad's like, yeah, I left her ass because she bitched too much. And plus my new young woman looks better in the kitchen cooking. Too bad, she's always taking Instagram selfies, so I probably won't get that plate until somewhere around Christmas. Number 9 comes from Brandy Wooden Bailey. It's called Playing for Team Petty. Please don't ever allow yourselves to become this person on the left. I reached out to the person on the left and I asked them, why on earth would you be this petty? Because this bitch don't work, drives a new car, she gets a housing voucher, she smokes the finest of the devil's lettuce, she has an iPhone 10. That sounds like a pretty logical reason not to shovel her side of the sidewalk. What do you think? Comment below. Number 8 goes to my dude Keith Wilson, and it's called Stir Crazy 2018. And right here you have a picture of Bill Cosby washing Tekashi 6ix9ine's hair. Can't you imagine if these two guys were cellmates? They'd be like Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder and Stir Crazy. We bad, you know we bad. Good post, KO, keep it up. Number 7 comes from my dude Jared Toppins, and it says, Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. If you need someone to carve your turkey, call OJ. He's good with the knife. This is a perfect segue for me to go into my OJ Simpson story. It was early 2000. I was opening up for Juvenile and Foxy Brown at Music Hall with the surprise host OJ Simpson. After I got off stage and OJ was like, "You're pretty good." I was like, "Yeah, I know, I do my thing." He was like, "Where are you going later?" So I told him, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to the waterfront." And he was like, "The boat." Yeah, the boat. So me and Josh pull up at the waterfront and we valet the car, and the valet's like, "Juice is on the loose inside the waterfront." I was like, oh shit, no way. I walked in, we started doing shots and Patron. We get hammered, dude. I had to ask him if he did it or not. The next work day, I get called into the office. Needless to say, Mr. Ruby was not really happy with me. If you want to hear the full story and want to know what happened when I met the infamous OJ Simpson, stay tuned for the episodes called The Loco Mad Country World. Coming to you real soon. It's going to be a lot of stories of me, Josh, and Scott and the shenanigans we used to get into in the early 2000s. Number 6 goes to my dude Brad Humphreys, and it's called Whatever Lynn. Girls used to cut and dye their hair after a breakout. Now they just add Lynn to their Facebook name. I have no idea why they do this, but you are absolutely correct. They often do. This is a perfect opportunity for you to participate in Ask Tarris Horton Top 10 Facebook Posts of the Week. You can go below. If you have an answer on why girls change their name to Lynn, I'm just assuming it's their middle name or something, comment below. Let's start a conversation. Let's talk about it. Number 5 goes to my dude Levi Jones, and it says, and when Mr. Lock-em-up's own daughter gets caught conducting government business on her personal email, Donald Trump's one of his main campaign slogans was lock her up, claiming that Hillary Clinton used her personal emails to conduct business with Benghazi or someplace, but then his own daughter gets caught up in an email scandal, but he's defending her like, hey, that's okay. So karma must be a bitch unless you're a Trump. Number 4 goes to Lynette Hall, who always has great content. Ladies, if you're single and your tires look like this, you need to answer one of them dudes in your inbox. I'm all for the independent woman. Be independent all you want, do your own thing, but there comes a time where you're gonna need a good man. If your tires look like this, you might want to answer one of those dudes in your inbox. If your house's grass looks like this, you might want to answer one of those dudes in your inbox. If your kid's haircut looks like this because you are refused to go to the barbershop and get him into a real haircut, you might want to answer one of the dudes in your inbox. I'm just saying, there's a lot of good dudes out there. Number 3 comes from my guy, Kenny Wright. I'm gonna call this one Christian Hypocrites. And it says, some of the most wicked of mankind are Christian hypocrites. The more you watch Ask Tarris Horton, you will find out that this is one subject that I will never tire of talking about. I remember I was in a relationship with this one Christian woman, and she just so happened to accidentally fall on my best friend's Johnson. And me being in a Christian relationship and doing what I'm supposed to do, I follow the mantra of to be a Christian means to forgive. And unexcusably forgive because God is forgiving you unexcusably. So I did, and then just so happened she accidentally said on one of my coworkers, Johnson. Wow, how does that happen? And then you're supposed to be a Christian, and whenever I asked, I was like, hey, who once fell on a Johnson? Yeah, I forgive. After the second one, you expect me to forgive? And she said, it's okay. Jesus died on the cross for my sins, so all is forgiven. And don't you worry, I prayed to white Jesus, and he said that he approves this message. Number 2 goes to Peggy Peeler, and she asked, who should get their dinner first, the husbands or the kid? Well, that's a sticky situation. It depends on how you're raised. Me, I was raised in a family to where my dad, who's 80 years old right now, still has his meals prepared for him before all the children. And I'm not saying that you should prepare, everybody's different. I'm not saying that you should prepare your father or your husband's meal first. It depends on if you have young children. But let's say the cutoff is around 8 years old. If your child is 8 years old and you're still making their plate, I think you might be enabling them a little bit. So let's just say if they're above 8, you should make their husband's plate first, especially if he's a provider and he's the reason why you have the food. If not, if he's just a bum, fuck him. You know, let him get his own plate. But if he's a provider and he's providing food for the entire family, you should at least give him a solid and make his plate. Number 1 comes from Nika Brown, and it says, man, I just gotta make it till tax time. I can't stand these kids and their mother. Well, this will be a perfect opportunity for me to teach. This is the time of year where you see the most unusual couples. You'll see this guy, but his motives is to get her tax money, her earned income tax credit. So he comes to her with the infamous, let me flip your taxes. If you fall for this trick more than one time, that's on you. It's very reasonable for you to fall into this trap, especially if you're digmatized. That means you're hypnotized by the dick. And then you're gonna give them your tax return because hoping that you're gonna get your money back, then you're gonna be able to take care of your man. But really, after he gets that check, he's gone, peace out, back to his baby mom, and there goes your income tax credit. Don't be stupid. Well, there you have it, the top 10 Facebook posts of the week. Like, share, comment, and like I always say, if you do not want me to use your name, your likeness, your pictures, your posts in my top 10 Facebook posts of the week, delete me. Until then, see you next week and peace.